Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Manga Bums Podcast. This week, we're going to be talking about Lions Ridge's flagship series, Tetsunaki no Kirinji. Should be awesome. Let's get going. Alright, it's Saturday, so it must be the Manga Bums Podcast. I'm here again with Rinshan. And, we went on for, what was it, like 4 episodes about Kaiji? So, we're probably going to do something similar with Kirinji, because it's such a big series for Rinshan, and, it's a great series. It is a wonderful series, like one of the best Mahjong manga out there, so we would be remiss not to talk about it for equally as long, if not longer. So we figured like this week we'll just talk about part 1, and then is it even called part 1, or is it just called like the first series, or what would you even call it?
Okay, first of all, I also want to say welcome back.
Yeah.
Our 7th episode. Nice to be back. Actually the original title is just Tetsunaki no Kirinji.
Right.
And I think the author, I have been following the author a little bit, on Twitter. I've been following, right now I'm translating his, Omake and some other series. I also translated a little bit of another series of him. And I even managed to play a game on Tenho with him, but that's like a long story.
Wow. Yeah, you've mentioned that before, but that's insane that you were able to play Mahjong with the author of a series that you scanlated. That's like a dream come true. Imagine.
Yeah, and that he didn't mind that you that you scanlate his stuff and in English, and scanlation is a little bit a touchy subject.
Yeah, a little taboo.
He was even happy. He was glad. He was oh really into English. My manga in English.
Yeah. That would be the natural reaction, you would think, to be proud that people on the other side of the world are interested in something that you've done. But I feel like really what it is just like the legal ramifications of it. It's not official, so
I'm sure the authors are super happy that fans are translating their stuff if it's not available for sale somewhere in the world or in all other languages. I think the only ones are the publishers, because they're fuck, we're missing out on money kind of stuff, They don't really care about the series itself. They just care about the sales.
Right. Yeah, just the publishers. Which is, I don't know. It's a little messed up that they do that, but does I think that way?
So today, it's Tetsunaki no Kirinji. Some of you might know I'm the guy who's translating it. Actually, it's my first translation love.
Right.
Maybe it's with teenagers, when you're a kid, your first love, and you have this special love for it. Maybe if I translated some other manga before, maybe I would have similar feelings for it. But I don't know. It also feels like as I was translating Kirinji that I also improved my Japanese a lot.
Yeah, it's kind of like just a learn as you go kind of feeling.
Yeah, it felt in a way like I grew together with the series and the character.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit intimate for me, and that's why if I would be the one talking all the time, you would be sitting here listening for 20 hours about Kirinji.
Yeah.
That's why we decided I'm not gonna talk too much about it. I'm gonna let Sonic share his opinions, and I'll just jump in
Well, at the same
Uh,
time, like you have a much deeper insight because you read the like original Japanese, right? So you know it like pretty much
yeah,
like how the characters are, like the way that they originally talked, and then the way that you
exactly.
made them talk in English and stuff like that. So I don't know. I feel like my input here should be like to like give my thoughts on like what I felt while I was reading it, and then also kind of like listen and like react to things that you thought when you were translating it at the same time.
Just
Um,
to answer Yado shortly, I translated a few chapters of Ant King, which has nothing to do it's
with Audino.
with mahjong, nothing with Arino.
Oh,
It's very different, and it's not drawn by the author. It's drawn by somebody else. The author was just writing the story.
hmm. Okay.
And as I got to chapter 3, 4, and it was getting a little bit messed up. To be honest, the author is a little bit messed up in the head, so
Huh.
I got a little bit turned off. But I plan to return to it. I saw another group try to uh, do it. They did one chapter and they did an excellent job. Someday I plan to continue it, but right now we have higher priorities. So I will do it someday because it is the same author, but not right now. Uh, yeah, that was Yaro's question.
Okay.
And I wanted to say, I wish we had more people watching who are familiar with the series. Um,
No,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
okay. I mean,
Yaro, no spoilers. No spoilers, Yaro, okay? Okay. Um, I just want to say I wish we had like more listeners so that they could like ask us questions if something wasn't clear in the original. But there's YouTube. The video will be on YouTube. If you watch this on YouTube, I will also be checking the video, the comments. So, or you can just write me on Discord. Or you can come to either Discord, write me if you have any questions about the series. I can probably answer any single question you have about it. Because it can also be possible that I didn't do a perfect job uh, in every dialogue. It's very possible that, for example, there are still some dialogue boxes later on which we'll get into, which are still haunting me to this day. Which
haunting
I'm
you.
like, yeah, which I'm
Yeah.
like, I could have done that better, like because I know them word by word, but they were like very important in the series. You know, they're like this big, important moments, emotional moments, and I translated in some way, and do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. Yeah, yeah, you kind of you translate it a certain way and they're kind of like they're very important lines. I'm trying to think like I'm sure there has been moments like that. I was just thinking like as you were talking about like how much Tetsunaki no Kirinji means to you. I was thinking the same way about Akagi. Like Akagi meant so much to me and I felt like I grew with the series as well. So
Yeah.
um uh, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like there was a line in early Washizu arc, like around
Yeah.
the 13th volume. It was like I didn't know that akumade meant like to the bitter end. I read it as akumade, which means which I thought meant like too evil or something
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
that. So I
At the
translated it
demon.
as like a devil, and I freaking just like translated it that way, like pretty much every line for several chapters. And then I looked back at it later, and I was like, "Wait, akumade? That means like to the bitter end. Why did I translate it? I didn't know that, you know." And but now it's up there, and now it's out there forever, you know. And like,
Because it's literally like to the devil. Like I will do this until to the devil. Like,
yeah,
but it,
that's the way I translated it. But no, it's uh well, oh wait. Oh yeah, it means akumade. I thought it meant like akuma de, like of the devil or something like
yeah,
that.
until the evil Akumade.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Uh, but
but
yeah, I mean, you get
stuff like
like
that.
when you hear it
Yeah, exactly.
literally, it makes in Japanese it kind of makes sense in your head, but when you put it literally in English, it's like
Yeah, it's like
like you can
how do
understand
I
it.
do this? Like,
Yeah, but honestly, it's like they can.
You
Yeah,
put
but
it out there and you
I think they got the point. I think they got the
yeah.
point. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's a little thing, as long as the like general like feeling of the dialogue gets across and like you're doing it in a way that is true enough to the original,
Yeah,
I feel like it's good. And um even if you like think back on it later and you're like, "Oh, I could have translated that better." Like the fact that you translated it at all and like you at least put some thought into what you were doing, I feel at least gives it some character and gives it some flavor. Um,
yeah.
so that's good.
I'm glad you know. I'm glad you know. I'm glad we have the same translator experiences. So let's finally start with Tetsunaki no
Yes,
Kirinji, I
yes.
guess.
Please, let's get right
Okay,
into it.
I will just put it like this. Most of you, I mean, most of this podcast has been about Fukumoto. I mean, everything has been about Fukumoto, hasn't it?
Except
Until
the
now.
last episode where we just talked for two
Yeah.
and a half hours about absolutely nothing.
Well, not absolutely nothing. It was.
Well,
You could
sure.
also say it could also say about absolutely everything.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, but
And
that's true. This is the first series that's going to be not Fukumoto that we're covering. And
yeah, and I thought that's interesting because if you enjoyed our talk about Akagi, and if you like compare Akagi and Kirinji, in a way they're like the total opposites, even though they're both based in mahjong, right?
yeah,
Like they're the total opposite. Like they couldn't be more
definitely.
opposite
Oh, definitely. Yeah,
because, for
Kirinji is
example,
about. Well, go ahead.
Akagi, for example, first off, Akagi is in the Showa period.
Yeah,
Kirinji is today.
yeah. In
Like literally with
Heisei.
internet, with
Yeah,
computers, like playing mahjong online, like literally today. Then
yeah.
Akagi is a like nihilistic badass who always goes alone and always
Yeah,
wins
like
without a
a perfect genius who
yeah
can do
perfect
no
genius.
wrong. Whereas Kiria is like a real person that has like flaws and is imperfect and like
He's a
the
fucking loser.
he's a loser. He's a complete loser. Yeah.
He's a
Um.
complete fucking loser.
But at the same time, he has like this. He has this child that he wants to look after, and like he's doing his best. Like he's like almost a neat, but he still wants to
Not
do his
almost.
best. A
He's
literal
literally
neat.
a need.
Yeah, yeah. The only thing he's good at is mahjong, and he has to like use that in order to take care of
And
his
Sonic,
daughter.
see what I meant if I talk about not even mahjong, only on online mahjong.
Yeah,
And the real thing is he also sucks. Like you couldn't have like somebody worse. And also like the sharp angles in the Fukumoto manga here, everything is soft and light, and uh, almost every other character is like female. In Fukumoto, you have no females. Like they couldn't be more different, honestly. Uh,
yeah. They're very different. Plus, just the
yeah,
general
so
theme, just the general tone. Like Akagi is more like gritty and like I don't know, just underground and like but like Tetsunaki is more like surface level and it's like you could go out to a mahjong parlor if you lived in Japan and like do the same things that Kirinji is doing now, whereas like you need to like really be an insider to like do like the stuff that Akagi does. It's kind of like I don't know. There's a lot that's different.
yeah, I just wanted to preface it to say like the total opposite. So, with that in
Yeah.
mind, it starts with um, a very confused, unshaven, unkempt hair, long hair man finding himself in a part of a city he never has been before,
Yeah.
and that is,
Kiryarinji.
I mean, part of the city.
Oh, sorry. Kabukicho.
Yeah, yeah. So you want to speak a little bit about Kabukicho?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you ever intend to like go to Japan, you should know at least about Kabukicho. It's kind of like, the red light district. It's like kind of the place where all the shady stuff goes down. It's there's lots of uh like
Could
kind
you
of
could you
dark
could you call
shady
it like a
stuff.
mini Japanese Las Vegas or something like that?
Maybe. Yeah, that might be a good way of putting it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like the kind of stuff that goes down in Las Vegas, like the gambling, the uh
Prostitution,
I was gonna, yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. The prostitution, the I don't know,
the
the
gangsters.
gangsters, loan sharks, all that stuff. It's just kind of like a little street where just all of the like dark underground stuff of Japan happens, and including gambling on mahjong.
Yeah.
Um, so
Sorry, but is it ever explicitly said where Kaiji is when he comes back from the underground?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
okay.
don't think it's Kabukicho.
Yeah, true. It's not the only like. There's also other parts. Yeah, but it's interesting at the beginning because he comes during the day. Um,
Yeah,
and during the day it seems like a completely normal place, right?
right.
And he was like scared to go there, and the reason he goes there is because he needs
He needs money.
he needs money. Yep.
Yeah. And one of the things that, like, because took a couple notes while I was reading the series, and one of the things that I remember thinking when I was reading the series for the first time, way back in the day when you were first doing it, is like the fact that Kiryu is able to like get out of his house and like go out and like actually interact with people, like was really impressive to me because for the fact that he's been shut in for so long and he's just been like ignoring society and just like kind of been like isolating himself for so long kind of would make me not even want to try, would kind of just make me want to be like, all right, well, I'm just gonna like lay around in my house and I'm not gonna go out and do anything. I'm not even going to try and improve my situation. I'll just let the world burn around me. So I think it's very noble that Kirya like even goes out and tries at all, let alone go to this strip of like the dark underbelly of Japan called Kabukicho and freaking like go to a loan shark and et cetera, et cetera. All this stuff. Like the fact that he's able to like pull himself out of his freaking like man cave and freaking go and take care of his problems, I think is very impressive and noble and um
I get
all
what you
that.
mean, but you're forgetting like one big important thing is that he was married at some point. He worked before. He has a daughter. It's not like he's like a teenager
Well,
who has
sure.
never went to the world and it's the first time he's more like shocked and confused because it's Kabukicho. Like if you see him later on walking through the normal parts of the town, like the calm parts, he's actually pretty normal. He's just like some dude like who isn't showering, just like some. Uh, but the reason he's like so scared is exactly because it's Kabukicho. That's
Right.
the reason.
Yeah.
Not because he was shut in. And I mean, once his wife divorced him, he was living alone for a long time. So I mean, he had to get out anyway and buy food, pay some like bills, or like he had to live somehow. He didn't have anybody else. Like he can't just be in one room, do nothing at all, and
Right, and just
just
play
play.
mahjong all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
um
think it's more the kabukicho. Sorry to like.
Yeah, no, I understand that. It's just that I was saying, like, when I was, I would say that like I was kind of more of a shut in myself when I was first reading it. So like it just kind of like I would say like more what I was getting at was that it kind of like inspired me to be to get out of my comfort zone, to like just the even though like you've been shut in for so long doesn't mean that you can't like explore and go out and like try and make your life better even if it's a little scary. And I understand that that's not like how Kiriya is. I understand that, he has a wife and he
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah,
interacting with
yeah,
all that,
yeah.
but all I'm saying is that, like, it's kind of like, because, like, there's probably readers of the series that are like that, that are shut in like that. And it's kind of like almost exploration of, like, what it's going to be like if you just put yourself out there and you try and get out of your man cave and try and, like, make your life a little better. It's kind of just like a little exploration of that in feel. Not
Yeah, yeah,
necessarily.
you're absolutely right. I mean, that applies for every situation possible. I would say except Kiria because he doesn't go out to explore.
Right. Yeah,
The
he
only
has to.
the only reason he actually gets out is because it's his daughter's birthday, and he's such a fuck up that he can't even pay like child support, and he
Yeah.
wants to he wants to buy his daughter a present. Wow, and even the loan shark like Shiro Hebi like makes fun of him, like he claps like, what a great father! You came to take a shady loan to buy your daughter, which is with your divorced wife, which you can't see a present. Wow. So
Yeah.
I don't think he's actually like that he overcame his fears of anxiety. I think if he didn't have a daughter, and I think he would actually never even thought about kabukicho or anything. Like the only thing which drives him forward to go there is his daughter, and that's some feeling which only a parent can have.
Right.
um, Disclaimer: I'm not a parent, but
Yeah. But I mean,
I can
everybody can
understand.
relate to the feeling of
Yeah, yeah,
maybe if you have like
yeah.
a
We've
younger
all we
sister
were
that
all
you want to
children
take
at
care
least.
of or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
experiencing some parental love. I hope everybody. Um, so that's his motivation to go there. That's the reason why it's Kabukicho. That's the reason why he's shocked. That's why he goes to Shirohebi, and he asks for like 300,000 yen, and no, 30,000 yen, and he's like, it's like, dude, yeah, like you're unemployed, you don't have any education, and a total stranger, I can only lend you like 10,000.
Yeah.
And this fucking shark, there's like he's a snake, like Shirohebi, like white snake.
White Snake. Yeah.
Uh, he knows that he's like fucking addicted to gambling. Like at least, like the funniest thing in the first chapter for me is like when Kiria says like I'm playing mahjong, like he shows him with his fingers, and like he makes this like gesture. No,
Yeah.
no, he says mahjong, and Shirohebi like makes this gesture
Oh
like
yeah.
drawing a tile. Like
Yeah.
he makes like with fingers drawing his tile. Kiria is like, no, it's more like a clicking, and he's like, what
Yeah.
the fuck are you talking about? You said mahjong, and he's like, yeah, it's mahjong, but it's online. Like he's like,
Right.
oh, you can gamble on the internet. It's like, oh no, you can't gamble, and he's like, what the fuck is he doing with
Yeah.
his
What?
life? Like,
He's not even gambling. Like that's kind of
yeah,
like he's thinking like, well, at least if he was gambling, it would be cool. But no, he's not even doing
yeah,
that. Oh, and the gesture of like motioning with mahjong tiles is something that I've seen in other series too. I think that's like because mahjong is such a part of Japanese culture that
mm,
they have that kind of that kind of gesture. I don't know.
definitely. Yeah, yeah, that's a thing I also noticed. Like they have like if you go in Japan and do that with your fingers, they'll be like, "Oh, you want to play mahjong?"
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, and the cool part for me is that he tempts him. He doesn't even tell him like, "Oh, you know what? You like just go with this money and gamble it if you're so good at mahjong." He's just like, "Oh, you could. I'm not telling you you should. You could." Uh, like this psychological manipulation of a fucking loser. Like, oh, you
Yeah.
could make some money if you're so good.
Right. Yeah. And am I remembering it right that like that wasn't even in his mind when he took out the loan? That
Yeah,
like yeah,
the only thing, like he was too scared, so he basically just bought the present,
yeah, he just wanted
called
to
his
buy a
ex-wife.
present and that was all he was planning on doing. But the loan shark Shirohebi like, kind of almost yeah, he manipulates him almost and tells him, you should
Yeah, he
probably
gives
go
him
and try and make
10,000
some
yen.
money with
He
your
gives him
mahjong
10,000
skills.
yen. He gives him 10,000 yen and says, "Here's 10,000 yen. Give it back to me in, I don't know, like in a month or so with interest." Um, and Kiria
Right,
says, "Oh, okay." And then he goes out like he doesn't even know what to buy for his daughter. His daughter is Kome. So he
right,
calls his ex-wife, Hanako, and he asks like, "Hey, I can't pay child support again, but I would like to buy her a present." And see, I know the whole manga like in my head, yeah, every single line of dialogue. And she says, "Why the fuck can't you even pay child support like 30,000 yen? Like, why can't you pay it? Like, why are you such a loser? Like, no, you won't even give her a gift. Like, fuck your gift." And then he's like, "Oh God." And then he decides to try to gamble with the money.
right. Yeah, and yeah, where does he go again? I don't remember the parlor name.
He goes to the parlor Kabu King.
Kabu King, that's it. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
and they have a
Kabukicho.
special deal. They have a Kabuki show Kabu King. Very very uh smart.
Right.
Very subtle from the author. But it's still good. He's Japanese. Anyway, the funny thing is, Kiria doesn't know that they're in the cahoots with the loan shark. So basically, if any gambler comes to him, takes like 10,000, 20,000, or whatever loan they take, he always sends them specifically to this kabuki. Like they
Mm,
have this like a little
yeah,
special deal, but they're so stupid they don't get it. Like there are so many parlors in kabuki show. Why does he tell us like especially this one? So they're
yeah,
basically a mark once they enter.
right. Yeah, and
And
and would you say that everybody in the parlor pretty much knows about that too?
or the employees, I mean, know
Yeah,
about it.
yeah, the
And
employees.
there's this and I have to praise the art of the manga, like the page when he enters the parlor, like his face, the sweat, like
Yeah,
the way he drew him, like you can feel just how nervous and uncomfortable he is. While the employees, holy shit, Sonic, we're gonna have we're gonna talk so long about it.
no,
Should I like should I talk a little less about it?
no, absolutely. No, I'm listening to you.
Okay,
It's yeah, it's and you can kind of understand like the fact, like we said before, the fact that he's been shut in for so much, and he's just been isolating himself. The fact that this is like a huge deal for him to go into this like parlor, and like the fact that
he
he
never
draws him
gambled
that
in real
way.
life. He
Yeah,
never gambled in real life.
exactly. He's had he ever like played mahjong in real life?
Of course, he had like,
Yeah, of course.
and
But as
he's
far as
already
gambling goes, like yeah, he'd
he's
never.
already he's already 30 years old at that point. Just to point it
Yeah,
out, he's 30 years old.
right.
So he was born before the internet. So of course he played in real life like most Japanese children and young adults.
Yeah,
But he never gambled real money. That's the thing. Like even I never like I'm also 30 and I never went to a casino. I would have the
right.
same expression actually.
Yeah. Oh
Even though I'm
yeah.
not like even though I'm not a complete shut-in, if I entered a casino right now, I would be fucking scared.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
because it is a completely different world, you know. Because I've been to a casino, yeah, and I'm trying to think like, yeah, the just the moment of like sitting down and like being face to face with all these gamblers and just like they know exactly what they're doing, but you have to. I
Yeah.
made so many damn mistakes while I was playing poker. I made so many damn mistakes. Like it would be my turn and I wouldn't even realize it, or sometimes I would like act out of turn or something like that, and like I had to like go to the bathroom and just like I did that thing. Like I was kitty. I like went to the bathroom and I like splashed water in my face and I was like, "Oh my god, I gotta simmer down here. I'm getting too worked up, so I can totally relate to that." And
Did you lose a lot of money? Spoilers alert.
actually I did pretty well
Okay.
until I started I don't know. I don't want to make this about my casino experience, but like there was like this like shark that sat down next to me and like did like a straddle like every time it was my turn. to be the big blind, and like he clearly was preying on me, and like like I did well until he sat down, but like after he sat down, like I freaking lost everything. Uh,
Okay. You were marked.
I was marked, yes, very much so. Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
and I remember like,
Interesting.
yeah, after I decided, you know what, I'm done, and I just got up and left the table. I like wandered around the casino trying to figure out where the parking lot was, and like I went the wrong way, and I like as I was walking down the street, I saw everybody from the table like walking the other way. Like they got up and left after I left because I was their mark.
Oh,
So
oh.
yeah, yeah,
We left our little prey, like our little prey left for tonight. That's it.
yeah, yeah. They were done after I got up, because they knew like there was no point in
Interesting.
just
I didn't know
exchanging
that.
money between themselves. So,
Yeah, that's interesting. Cool. Wow.
uh,
Yeah,
but
but I would be even more. I would be even more pissed because I'm fucking poor. Like every fucking penny means a lot to me. So,
yeah, well,
and another thing you have to keep in mind, Kiria borrowed this money, so it's not even his money that he's playing with in a casino.
right, yeah, yeah. And if he loses it, then he's screwed.
He's totally screwed. Yeah. So, anyway, now comes the other cool part about Kirinji, and I hope I'm not gushing too much, but the other cool part is the mahjong itself, um,
Oh yeah,
because it's so realistic in a way.
right. Yeah, he doesn't do anything like he doesn't like read the wall and like try and like alter like read the flow and try and like
Yeah, there are
do
no
crazy
marked.
things.
There are no marked tiles. There's no um, like I enjoyed that part in Fukumoto manga. I enjoyed a lot, like the little marked tiles and all the way in which you can cheat. But this isn't cheating. This is just pure
Yeah, this
skill.
is digital mahjong at its finest.
Yeah, yeah. So that's also another cool part about the manga. And of course, I won't get into every single fucking game.
Right.
I just
That would just be
wanted to
too
pray.
much.
If you want to, if you didn't already read it, then go ahead and read it. Everybody who gave me feedback said they enjoyed the mahjong because they even learned with the game. It's in a way like you can even like learn some strategy, like some real strategy you can apply with the game.
Yeah.
Um, Maybe not from the first chapter, but later on, definitely. And so he starts playing, and the employees are like smiling at him, but they're like giving signs to each other, like, "Hey, Shirohebi sent him like he's just Mark."
Right.
And then it's interesting that all the like even in the first chapter, like the main employee is called Saruta, like Saru monkey,
Right. Oh yeah, I remember all
and
the parlor employees are named after monkeys, especially in
yeah,
the
and he
later
even has
parts.
like these sideburns, and he kind of looks like a monkey in a way. Even the girl like Liz, in a way, she also like has like a monkeyish face to me. I don't know why.
Yeah,
Not
that is
for any.
interesting that he decided to like make them all like. I guess it's just thematic. It's almost like it's kind of
No,
almost
no.
like a
There's
jungle.
there's a reason. There's a reason for it in the sequel.
Right.
Spoiler.
Oh yeah, yeah, that is part of the sequel. Yeah, we shouldn't get into that, but
Yeah, yeah. I just want to mention that the names and everything is like, and there's this old man
yeah.
which is very silent and stoic, but which is also cool. And then there's this um, fat otaku, uh,
Mm.
like with the glasses,
Yeah.
um, and and that's another like difference. Like in Fukumoto, and again, guys, I'm not saying one or the other is better. I'm just saying it's like completely opposite. Because here it's like the opponents are like real people, like an old man, otaku, employee, and loser.
Loser,
sitting, sitting,
divorced,
sitting at one table instead of like
Kikamori.
genius against murderer and two mafia bosses
Right.
and legendary gambler.
Yeah, this is much more realistic and it's real people.
Yeah, that's what I tried to say. So at the beginning, like he doesn't even understand there's special rules
Yeah.
in parlors, in gambling in parlors,
Yeah, like West is always Yakuhai
and the red tiles, which
in
is
the
like
red
the biggest
tiles.
difference.
Yeah.
I know actually red tiles are even there. Fuck, never mind. It's
Well,
also
yeah,
in
red tiles are on
online market.
Tenho.
Yeah, it's
But
became like
the
standard pretty much.
the tips or the chips are
Oh,
different.
shugi.
The
Yeah,
shugi, yeah.
shugi.
Which
Yeah, that's
is
also.
a point of contention that I've always had. I think it should be tips because it's shugi means like to tip somebody, right? Like
Yeah,
when you leave a tip
and
at a restaurant, you call it a shugi.
when we talked about translation, this is something I regret because I was a beginner. Do you know how I translated it?
Well, yeah,
Bonus,
a
bonus.
bonus. Oh, you translated it as bonus. Well, no, I remember reading it. I just read it 2 days ago, and I remember like you translated it as chips, right?
No, only in one chapter it was chips, but in the first one it was bonus.
Oh,
Like
I see.
you get like for every red tile you get 1,000 yen bonus, and like nowadays it sounds so stupid. Like
Yeah, I mean, it gets the point across. I don't. I mean, it wasn't a
I
bad
guess
translation by any means. Um,
I guess
but
I
I
just didn't know what to do. Just didn't know what to do with shugi.
Yeah, but which is, and that's something that I've, I remember talking, like arguing back in the day with XGO, with XHime, all the X's,
All the excess.
yeah, all the X's, about like whether it should be chips or tips, and I would like give like all this information, like I remember like looking up this website, like talking about tips and being like, look, they spell it tips there, and they were like, oh no, that's just because they, it's an English word and they don't know how to spell it, and they're like, oh, but they use chips. They use chips to represent the freaking tips, and I'm like, well, that's just because it's I don't know, it's a pun or something, and it's like, uh, it's like a constant point of contention. I prefer tips because it's like I don't know.
Nowadays, I also I prefer tip, but back then my problem with tip was uh, I was so reluctant to tip because I always assumed or thought that you tip like a waiter, like you give it
Mm.
someone for service, not for something somebody won. But
Yeah, but
yeah, I
at the
mean,
same time, chips. I don't know.
yeah,
I,
chips is also for casino. It's also stupid. Like shugi, I don't know.
I feel like it makes sense as tips because it's like you're paying with money, right? When you win like Ipatsu or with a red concealed red 5 or something, like you're paying somebody extra money, and so you're tipping them, you know,
Okay,
and
okay.
you're
Like,
giving them
but
monetary
when I was
compensation
translating
for
it,
their.
it felt to me like it felt to me like here's your tip for owning me. Like,
Yeah. I mean, it is weird and I don't even know. Like, because another thing about tips is that, like, I remember I translated it that way in Mukobuchi. And I still remember there was a
yeah.
comment that said, like, oh, so you tip the waitress whenever you win a certain, like, hand? Oh, that's really interesting. That's really nifty. And I'm like, no, no, that's not how it is. So, like, it's something that you have to, like, intimately know in order to really understand. And I don't know if
Well,
chips or tips, like,
well,
really gets across.
nobody asked me about what bonus means, so maybe I did something right with
Actually,
bonus.
yeah, that's a good thing about bonus is that that's probably the easiest to understand way of putting it.
Even though it sounds pretty stupid.
It sounds generic, but it's also like a good way of like conveying exactly what it is, you know.
Yeah.
Because it is a bonus, it's a bonus for when you win with certain yaku, with you when you win with Ipatsu or Urodora or whatever. Um it's like the most easy way of conveying what it is, I would say.
Yeah. So enough about
Yeah.
translating Shugi. Anyway, he's still very nervous at the beginning, very sweating, very. But the cool part is when he says like, wow, I finally feel the feeling. Yeah, I finally feel a real tie.
Feel that special
Uh,
feeling. when you feel a
It is
tile.
true. Like it is true. Like I played mahjong on video games and on the internet for years until I had the chance to touch like not a Chinese mahjong tile, but a real Riichi tile. They feel so
Right.
nice in your hand.
It
Like
does.
it's
It fits so smugly.
yeah. Whenever I have the money, the extra money, I'm definitely buying myself a Riichi set.
Oh yeah, they're the
It's
best.
they're not just like a playing set. They're just like a piece of art, and I say that with a straight face.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, it's
yeah.
true. I mean, they're made very well, and they have a certain feeling to them that you can't really find anywhere else. You know, you can't get that feeling touching car. I don't know. It feels weird talking about touching something and how it feels on some level, but no, it is definitely it's a special kind of just drawing and discarding tiles like there's nothing like it.
Yeah, true. Sonic, while I continue what happens next, just check Discord for 1 second. I wrote
Okay.
you something. And yeah, anyway,
Okay.
so he plays. It's a little bit awkward for him at the beginning, and it's also a cool game to see. But
Oh yeah, something I remember is that like this is very relatable. Like he misses a pawn, right? He wants a pawn on like a pay.
oh
He wants a
yeah,
pawn
yeah,
on a
yeah,
pay, but like he's so caught up in trying to keep up with like the game that like he before he realizes it's his turn and he missed his chance to pawn, which is so relatable, because it
yeah.
just
It's
goes
like
so fast that and he's not used to playing, like
yeah, it's
he's used to like having
where's
a
my
pop up
like
window
yeah,
show.
like where's my pop up? Where's my pop up? Why didn't I have a pop up?
Exactly, but nope, there's no pop-ups in real life. Nope, you just gotta watch,
Yeah, that was also really. Or where's my Ricci prompt? I don't know when I'm in
Yeah,
Tepai.
where's
Yeah,
my sexy
that was
Ricci
also
button?
a really cool detail when he was playing at the real parlor. Um, but yeah, at the start he kind of loses a little bit, but he kind of survives in a way.
Yeah,
The battle goes forward for a few chapters. There's many more intricacies in the game itself. We won't go on about that. We'll continue with the story. He barely survives, and there's the only kaiji moment in the whole series. It's when Kirya, stands in front of the parlor, and there's only like one word written big in the corner, and it says survival.
survival.
Just survival, and I felt like, yeah, this is like kaiji now.
Yeah, death or survival, one or the other.
Yeah, yeah, and then he goes home, and he starts like thinking about it. Like he starts thinking, and he's thinking about it, and he decides that he wants to have like revenge. Like I was like he says like there were some like he checked his Tenho stats, and he says like my Tenho stats are pretty great. Like if I look at the numbers, and then he like started like calculating the shugi
Right.
chips
Yeah.
into it, and then he says like, "Holy shit, I'm really good at Tenho, but if I consider the money, I fucking lose."
Yeah. He's like minus 70 on
Yeah,
average or something like that. Remember?
Because on Tenho, and he explains it, and that's a great difference between gambling and Tenho. It's on Tenho you play defensively, basically.
Yeah.
But if you play defensively in Kabukicho or when you're gambling in real life, you're gonna lose money if you play
Yeah, you're just
defensively.
gonna sit there and let your money get sucked away because other
Yeah,
people are going
slowly.
to, win with like, I don't know, Tanyao, two reds or something, and those two reds are a big deal, because that's like what 2,000 yen. Well, I guess it would
Yeah, so
be.
even if he wins by points, he loses money. So he realizes he has to change his tactics.
Right.
And then he spends like there's another great part about Kirinji. Oh my god, I'll never stop. Another great part. We have this when Kiria logs into the online world.
Yeah.
The online world is drawn, and everybody's character is drawn like how they
Oh
imagine
yeah.
themselves
That is so great that
along.
he like, personifies the like avatars of
Yeah, it feels
all
like
the players.
it almost feels like an MMO in a way.
Yeah.
Um, the only difference is that they can talk with each other, kind of like openly, which you can't really do in these online clients.
Well,
But
yeah, can you do that on Tenho though?
no, no,
In
in
the
the
lobby.
lobby, yeah, in the lobby,
Yeah.
yeah, but not like direct messages or something like that. I think. I mean, you
Mm,
can't like in Mahjong Soul. There isn't even a way to write anything to anybody.
that's true.
For example,
Well, you can
so
write stickers. You can leave stickers on somebody's blog.
you can send them a heart
Yeah, something like that. I always thought, I
during
don't
the
know.
game.
When I was reading Kirinji, I was like, oh, well, when you get to a high enough level, like once you're in like Ho or whatever, like maybe there's like maybe people like hang out in the lobby and like watch games or something.
Oh, it seems in Mahjong Soul you can do messages, but I just didn't find them. Okay, so I was wrong. Then they're hard to find. Okay, never mind. It's not about Mahjong Soul. It's about Kirinji. So
Yeah.
anyway,
And Tenho
he's
is
doing this.
the one that's like using Kirinji, right? Or at least it's implied to be Tenho.
Yeah. It's definitely Tenho. They just couldn't use Tenho for obvious reasons. So he called it Nettoma,
Yeah,
and I
net
translated
mahjong.
online. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I thought like what the like net mahjong is stupid, so I went with online mahjong.
right.
Um, and anyway, he changes his style, and this is also cool. Like everybody knows him like he's a like nine he's a 9 dan player, which is very high for Tenho. I
Yeah, I
think there's
remember.
like
Yeah, there's like 100 of them.
100 of them, yeah. And everybody knows him. Everybody watches his games. Like he's a legend in the online world. Of course he is. He lost his wife and child for this fucking game. Of course he's a legend in the game. So, but everybody knows him during the years for his like legendary defensive style, because he
Yeah.
only thinks about the points. And this night, because he wants revenge on Kabukicho, he decides, no, I'm gonna imagine there's Shugi in this game. I'm gonna play like there's Shugi. And then there's like these great expressions of everybody, like, what the fuck is what? And they call him Kirinji Papa,
Right.
which will come up often. And there's like, what the fuck is Kirinji Papa doing? Like, why is he playing so aggressively? Because they don't know that he's playing with Shugi in mind. And
Right.
he spends the whole night playing, and you just see the morning him collapsing on his bed, and his sheet falls down, and you only see like a circle like this time I would make money if I played like this.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's just ruminating on it all night and just trying to
And
work
he
out in his
sleeps during
head.
the whole day. And he sleeps during the whole day. And at night, his revenge begins.
Yes.
And he returns. And this is also epic. This time when he enters Kabuking, he's like fucking confident, smiling. Like
Yeah.
this time I know. This
Complete
time I know
turnaround.
what you're up about. Yeah, up to. So because the first time he didn't know anything, but this time he's ready. And it's true. He starts owning them.
Yeah.
Yeah, to make it short, he just owns them. Everybody's like, what happened with Kiria? How did you get so good overnight? Then there's also like cool metaphors, which is also very similar to Kaiji. Like whenever like he's imagining that he's like running after bread, that they're like all in a bread chase,
He had
and
a bread
also
race,
like
yeah.
bread race, yeah. So I also like these kind of metaphors. It's very cool. I think he drew some inspiration from Fukumoto actually. or do you see that kind of stuff in other manga as well?
Well, I feel like visual metaphors are just a normal thing
Okay.
for most manga or most media in general. Well, maybe not media, but manga for sure. Um, I would say
Yeah,
that
but
Fukumoto just
here it's
does it to the
yeah.
extreme.
Yeah, to Fukumoto to the extreme, and here's it's a little bit more frequent, I would say. Um, but yeah, this time he calls fast pawn fast chi, and he's just like owning everybody. And then something unexpected happens. He meets the first. It's your cue. He meets the first.
Oh, uh, are we talking about? I don't remember his name. I tried to look through again,
I'm not
and
asking for the name. What is he? He meets the first
first other guy that's also taking out a
gambler.
loan. Gambler. Okay, all right, that's the word you were looking for.
He
First
meets the
gambler.
first gambler because
Okay,
it is actually literally the first gambler he ever met, right? Kandata.
Kandata. Okay, that's his name. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, his real name is Kandachi, and I spent so much time like these Japanese metaphors. Like his name is Kandachi, but they call him Kandata because Kandata comes from this novel. I hope
Hmm.
somebody got it. I wrote the whole explanation in the credits like 2 times why they call him Kandata instead of Kandachi. Kandachi is his real name,
I see. I
but
I
we will
didn't read
call him
it, but
Kandata.
I was just skimming through it.
Yeah, you had no time. You were just preparing for the podcast. It's
Yeah.
fine. Um, yeah, so Kandata appears, and this is brilliant arc. Like he's just like looking down on him like with these like white eyes while he's like smirking to himself. He's like, "I'm owning this place," and Kandata is like, "Ah, nice.
We have some fresh meat here.
I got myself a little Sonic for tonight."
What?
Like you when you were playing poker,
Oh,
and
gotcha.
this
Okay.
guy appeared.
A little mark. Yeah.
Uh, and and that's also like brilliant character design. Like he has like these buck teeth, and he's like always like smiling, and like he's in this like
Oh yeah, his
sandals
character design is
always.
so cool.
Yeah, um, and you gotta love him. You gotta love him. Like he's so like uh, he doesn't talk much. He's cool and everything, and then that's like that's like Kirya's first boss, like first wall
Yeah,
ahead.
for yeah, first world boss or whatever. First world of the RPG.
Yeah, and yeah, then there's basically like Kandata, of course, owns him. Kandata has been gambling for so many years. For Kiria, it's his second night gambling, and Kiria is losing, of course. But then, as Kiria is losing, he's like totally losing his nerves. As you said, he went to the toilet. He looked at a picture of his daughter, and that gave him strength to remain his composure. He came back and he not to get into the mahjong strategies. Basically, he did learn something which is real for the
Yeah,
gambling team, and he used it against Kandata. And long story short, he wins.
right. Just
And
by the just by a hair's width, but he does.
yeah, by the skin of his teeth, yeah, just like very very small difference. But he still wins.
Yeah.
And that's the end of volume 1, and I think that's a very very cool like quick volume without any fillers. And that's the one thing I also wanted to mention. It's so crazy how every first like part of any series is so condensed, full, nice, and then when they
Yeah.
start making sequels, it all starts like, oh yeah,
Getting stretched out and stuff. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean that's just the way it is with every series, you know.
yeah,
Even
yeah,
Western series, it's like, they always have like it for the first series they always have like a goal in mind. They always want to like make it a certain way. They know exactly what they want to do, and then like as they continue, like it's kind of like, well, we already have a fan base, now we can kind of just like capitalize on it, you know. But
yeah,
it is cool that, they made it so, or that the author wrote it so condensed, and and had a clear goal in mind and wanted to.
And I gotta say,
I don't know.
I gotta say, some of you are probably reading the part I'm translating right now, and I have to say the part I'm translating right now is very similar to this.
I
The
see. It's
part
going back to
between
that.
them, yeah, the part between them is not, unfortunately.
Right.
but but yeah, that's just how it is. Anyway, I want to say the first chapter of the second volume is so brilliant. It's called Tread,
Trap.
and it basically tells you everything what the manga is about in that one um, chapter. It's maybe even my favorite chapter, honestly.
Of the whole series.
Maybe. No, no, not the whole. I can't say whole. I have many favorite chapters in the whole
Yeah.
series. This is one of the favorite. Basically, what happens? Kandata runs out after him, and he says like it slips. It slips. He says like, "Hey, I borrowed some more." No, I didn't mean borrow money. I like took it out of my like ATM, as if he had an ATM.
Right.
Um, and
Oh, something else that's cool is that the loan shark, Shiro Hebi, like he draws
mhm.
mustaches on all of his bills, so he knows which ones
Oh yeah, I
are
forgot about
coming
that. But
back.
that's the sign. That's the sign. I forgot about that. Yeah,
Yeah. So he knows
that's the sign
exactly
how
which
he
bills are he lent out and that they're
Yeah,
coming
yeah,
back
yeah.
to
Good
him.
point.
And
Good
that kind of
point. Good
builds
point.
trust. Like, I'm giving you this bill and you're gonna give it back to me exactly as I gave it to you, you know?
No, yeah, yeah. No, no. It doesn't build trust. It actually disappoints him because when Kandata, because it's a sign. These mustaches are a sign for Kabukin, for the employees,
Oh.
to
Oh,
tell them
okay.
this guy came to me from me. It's not a regular customer.
Yeah.
That's like a sign for them. But Shirohebi is disappointed that Kandata always brings him back the same notes, and then he
Mm,
attacks him. He's like, Kandata, why the fuck do you like? This isn't a uh, business where you can borrow money every day and just return it the same day. Like he gets pissed that he's returning him the same money every
right.
day,
Yeah, I remember
because
that now.
he expects him to lose. Basically, he wants him to lose so he gets into debt. That's
Right.
his actual plan. Um, but Kandata is such a good old gambler that he takes like he never plays with his own money. That's like his gambling philosophy.
Yeah. He
He,
always plays
he,
with
he
other
yeah, he
people's money.
always plays with the money he takes from the loan shark, and he always returns the money at the end to the loan shark and keeps the winnings to himself. Like that's his old-fashioned gambling philosophy strategy. I don't
Yeah.
know
Which is
what it is.
kind of impressive, you know?
He's a gambler. He becomes a very good friend. He's not just a throwaway rival character. And
Right.
that's what I want to say with this next chapter, which I want to say one of my favorite chapters, Dread. Kandata runs back after him and is like, "Hey, bro, let's keep on gambling." Like he can't believe he loses. Like I have some more money because he's used to come back to Shirohebi with the same money, so he can't believe that he actually lost money. Oh fuck! No, that was actually the last chapter of the first volume. Never mind. It isn't Dread. It's this burned corpse. But no, it is Thread. It is Thread. It's just a double story in the page. Sorry, because okay, in the chapter Thread at the beginning, no,
It's all right.
you know what? I'm confused because I can't believe he put so much story just into the first.
Yeah, it's so dense and so much
Oh, did
happens.
did I even? Oh my God! I even forgot to mention a major plot point. That's how much stuff happens in Volume One.
What was
You know
that?
what we forgot? His ex-wife.
Oh, yeah. Well, of course, yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess we never did touch on that. Yeah, it just kind of seems. Did we? Well, we
No,
mentioned that Kirya's like divorced, but we never really talked about like the
we
fact
didn't.
that
Yeah, I thought it happens in the second volume. That's why I'm confused right now.
is
No,
she
it
in
actually
like the
happens during the
hospital
first
already
volume.
in the first volume?
Yeah, yeah. Can you believe it?
Yeah, that's kind of well, it's not surprising, but it's yeah, I just didn't remember. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a major plot point that like she's in the
I'm just
hospital
surprised
and
we managed to talk so much about so many things, and that I was like, there's no possible way we missed something. No, um,
yeah,
what
and that's
happens?
why
What happens?
Kitty, like the whole time that he's going out to gamble, like he has Kome like at home and is like or she's going out to school or and some such, and like he's like making sure to like make enough money to like take her out to dinner and do all this stuff. Because like his ex-wife is in the hospital and can't look after the daughter for him.
Yeah, basically, what happens during the time when Kiria is like, why? What the fuck is going on? Was it? Oh, I think it was after the first. Yeah, after the first time he loses. What happens? Okay, now I remember. Sorry,
I
guys. Sorry,
do,
everybody.
yeah, I do remember a part where like like he's ready to
Yeah,
go out
after
and
his
gamble, and he's like, "All
after
right, get ready
after
for school,
after.
Kome." And Kome's like, it's Sunday.
Yeah,
I
no, no,
don't go
no.
to school
That's
today."
later.
And he's like, "Oh
That's later.
no, what do I do?"
That, that,
You know?
that's later. That's
Oh, is
later.
that later? Oh my bad.
First, what happens is the first night he loses. Not loses, but survives. The first night of survival.
Okay,
He gets a phone call from the hospital. Can you hear me?
I can hear it. Yeah, yeah, I'm listening.
Okay, it's just lagged out for me. He gets a phone call. They say your X5 collapsed, and he's like, she collapsed. He runs to the hospital. What happened? She's like, oh, I was just tired. It's okay. I fell down, but I'm gonna stay in the hospital. They have to do some tests on me. Can you like, sorry, but like, can you look after coma for me for a few days?
Yeah,
And he's like, can I? And then he's like super happy that he can look after Kome. And that's another reason why he's like playing so good the second night, because he
yeah.
knows that he's gonna have to make the money for Kome.
He's determined.
Yeah, and so he already has Kome at the beginning of Volume One. He's walking with her. He's making sushi for her.
Yeah.
He's very happy, and these are some cute moments. I'm not sure, but I don't think you see like Kaiji spending time with his daughter,
He
making
definitely
sushi.
not. He doesn't even have a daughter. He's too much. He's too much of a bum to even have a daughter.
Yeah, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. And we have these cutesy moments, and Kome is the one who notices these mustaches, which you mentioned, which was a very good point. And then he remembers Kandata, and then one of my favorite moments happens is when uh, Kandata says, "Let's play again," and Kiria says, I can't. I have to look after my daughter." And Kandata is surprised that he has a daughter, and he's like, "What the fuck do you mean? Like, you can't like have a child while being a gambler? Like, it's." Now we get like to the more like realistic like stuff. Like, of course, don't have children if you're a fucking gambler. Of course, like that's not the point
Mm.
of the manga. Kandata is absolutely right here. And then we find out that he also has a little son,
Yeah,
or he had a
he
son.
had a
He had a
son.
son.
Yeah, and that's kind of the
I don't,
difference between Kirya and Kandata is that Kirya cares so
yeah,
much about his daughter and he's fighting for his daughter, whereas
yeah.
Kandata like is estranged from his son and doesn't even realize that his son plays mahjong, and is like trying to get better at mahjong so that his dad will respect him, which is so crazy. The fact that
Yeah, but at this point, Kandata is just so shocked because he's like he can't believe that somebody who is gambling, like he shouts at Kiria. He's like gambling is unreasonable. Like today you maybe want some money, but what about tomorrow? What about the day after that?
yeah, it's
Like
unstable.
at
It's
some point
very
you're gonna
unstable.
lower. Like you can't bring a child into that. Like it's
Yeah.
unreasonable. And then like Kiria has like this epic like moment looking at him like, and I'm not sure if I translated this like because he's like basically referencing this novel, which I'm always like trying to explain that a
With the
thread
spider
between
thread.
a thread between a parent and a child can never be broken,
Yeah.
basically. And Kandata is kind of like shocked and kind of doesn't, because he actually abandoned his family just so he could gamble.
Right.
So he chose gambling above his family. And now he
Yeah.
meets a man who doesn't give up on his family while he's gambling.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't make sense to him. Like it shouldn't actually. Like he's right. like
Mm.
like actually, I would say Kandata is right.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's so unstable to like make money through gambling that it's like it's almost kind of neglectful to like put a child through that in some
It's not
sense.
neglectful. It's fucking criminal.
It's criminal.
Honestly.
Yeah,
Like, do you know how many like families have been ruined? How many childhoods have been ruined just by a gambling father?
that's true. That's very true. Um,
So that's why I say that Kandata is absolutely right.
yeah, yeah, in a general sense.
Yeah,
I would say that Kiria is an exception though, because like he's good enough at mahjong that he can reliably like make money with it. But that is definitely not normal, you know. And
yeah,
so
definitely
seeing
not
somebody
normal.
that does that, seeing somebody that raises a child through mahjong gambling is very much like uh
Shocking.
shocking and off-putting.
Yeah,
Um,
that's why I love this chapter so much. But because I was feeling like Kandata looking at him like speechless, like who the fuck does this guy think he is? But that's the difference between Kiria and Kandata. Kiria has this confidence that yeah, I can make money with gambling for my child. I can do it and I will do it. While
yes,
Kandata
because
is
I have to.
like no, yeah, and Kandata is like no, it never happened. Sorry, family, but I'm abandoning you. I'm gonna
Right.
gamble for myself. I don't want to take you into this risk with myself. And these are like these two opposing philosophies right at the beginning.
Yeah. And there's definitely something to be said about that. Um, it's it's just so, how do I even put it? It's I don't even know where I'm going. I'm sorry.
No, no, it's a very like complicated topic. Honestly, I would just say Kandata is in generally right, and whoever in real life is listening to this, I'm saying Kandata is right. Forget Kiria. He's a manga character.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
you can't like it's cool to see him like, you know, struggle and fight his way through, but that's only because he has all this skill and he's like this kind of genius that's able to like realize this ambition of his. But
maybe the only exceptions in real life are the, let's say, world poker champions, the ones which are always there. Maybe them.
yeah,
Maybe they can steadily earn enough money to feed a family. Maybe, I don't know. Can
right.
they?
Well, yeah, I mean, I know some like poker players that like, you know, have like a wife and kid. Well, yeah, I mean, if you're like a gambler like that who's just that good, then you definitely could. But as far as like having a child and then trying to make money gambling, like to raise them,
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
that's
Like
a no go.
don't go.
You have to
Yeah,
get good
don't go.
at gambling first, and then
exactly,
raise the
exactly.
child with the
First,
gambling money. You know?
yeah, first make the money with gambling, then make children. Don't make
Yeah.
children and then try to make money gambling.
Right.
Exactly. You put it the perfect way. So let's get back to the story.
Let's do.
Kiria finally, we have some very cute moments with Kiria and Kome. I don't know if you find this cute. I find it very cute seeing like because they haven't seen each other for so long, and it's just by pure coincidence. It's not even because he won. It's because of a tragedy that his wife just couldn't give Kome to anybody else because she's a single mother.
Yeah.
The only reason he has a chance to see his daughter is because of a fucking tragedy, and he doesn't even know yet what's coming.
Right. He's totally
He doesn't know
unprepared.
what's coming. Yeah, because the next day when they visit, Um, the most hated character in all of manga appears. At least from what I have read back then when I was translating it, and back then there was like Batoto,
Yeah.
and they had like a comment section. So every time I would release a new chapter, I would read through the comments, and as well through the comments on my blog. We didn't have a Discord back then. I don't know why. I would read through the comments, and the chapter when the Doctor appeared, Doctor Arino.
Oh, he's the most hated character. Oh,
Isn't he?
really?
Didn't you hate him?
I mean, I wasn't involved in the scene, like, when the chapters came out, but yeah, I can see that. I can see why. Yeah, because he's just like, yeah, he like freaking falls in love with uh Kiria's ex-wife and like
Yeah.
tries to steal him
And
away steal her
by the
away
way,
from him.
his ex-wife also works at the same hospital. She's a nurse there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And so they kind
Um,
of got to know each other there, it seems
yeah,
like.
but there's this like epic moment why everybody hates him. He called Kiria to him to talk, and he's just looking at his desk. He's like not even looking at Kiria. He's just giving his like the exam. Well, we have the results from her examination. There's a problem. We found a tumor.
Yeah.
And Kiria is like fucking like shocked, shaking, like can't believe it. And the doctor isn't even like looking. He's like chill out. It's a tumor, not a cancer. Then some medical stuff, and it's like like a blister. We can operate on it. We can fix it.
Yeah, as if it's not
But
like a big deal or anything.
yeah, but then comes like the big reveal. Like he said, but when I said there was a problem, I didn't mean the tumor. I meant you.
Ugh, that's so
Yeah,
disgusting.
that's the moment why everybody hates him.
Yeah.
And it's like he just looks at him for the first time and he says like, "It is you, Kirinji. Your existence is her cancer."
Yeah.
And then just silence, and they look at each other and then he just continues like talking so the medical stuff. We should have a. And he's like, what did you just call me?
Yeah, what did you say?
like I'm a cancer. Like what the fuck? And then he's like, listen, Coleman will be staying with my family. And he's
Oh
like,
my
what
god.
the fuck? Well, Coleman with you? And he's like, when he like stands up, and Kiria realizes this is his like fucking. Fucking, he's like this. His fucking opposite. He's like tall, good-looking doctor,
Yeah. Wealthy.
wealthy after his ex-wife, and he's like a fucking the biggest loser you can imagine.
Yeah.
And he's
But
like,
yeah, it's kind of goes back to that like strength of character kind of discussion. Like, like Audino, like the doctor is like, he's wealthy, he's good looking, he's all this, but his heart is so, I don't know, selfish and impure. And
we will get to the heart at the final arc.
yeah, I guess there's a whole like arc devoted to that. Yeah. We
Yeah.
shouldn't get there
He
yet.
just appears. He just appears right now and pisses Kiria off.
Right.
So Kiria takes Kome, almost like smashes her hand because he's so angry. He can't believe that some handsome guy, doctor, rich guy, he can't even compete against is gonna take his daughter. Like he doesn't even care about his ex-wife. He cares about his daughter. Like
Yeah.
imagine another man takes your fucking daughter away
Yeah.
from you,
That's just
and that's what pisses him off.
impossible.
Pisses him off.
Yeah.
And then there's something weird like Arino says like. If you want to take care of Kome, then show me 400,000 yen in
Right.
3 days.
Yeah, which is
And
really unreasonable, but
it's basically impossible. 400,000 yen. That's like isn't that like
$4,000.
$4,000? Yeah,
Yeah.
about yeah.
Yeah, which
And
is
he doesn't have anything. Like imagine somebody comes up to you and says, "You have 3 days to come up with $4,000," and you're like, "Fuck, can I sell my kidney?" Fuck,
yeah, I know. Like you got to do something like that at that point. Uh yeah. And so the only way he knows how is to go gamble for it, and which drives the drama, but it's still like really unrealistic and
Well,
not
back
unrealistic, but
not too unrealistic.
Yeah,
Like in real life, I
reasonable,
don't know.
but
Like yeah, and like I mean, okay, I can see why a doctor who's like worried about the daughter of his future wife, that she should be staying with the ex-husband, and that he is like, I mean, Arino is also right, like Kandata. Actually, in this manga, everybody is right except Kirya. Actually,
uh,
when you think about it,
yeah, but at least he's right in spirit. He has.
like, yeah, he has a good heart.
Yeah.
He's our hero. But I mean, like every other, let's say, oh my god, I have like the perfect way to put it. Like every other character in this manga is a realist. Kirya is a romantic.
Mm. That's a great way of
Can
putting it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like, of course, the doctor is like, look, the my future daughter like won't be staying with you, bum. Like, do you even have any money? And he's like, yeah, yeah. And like, who's gonna believe you? Look at you, like, look at your clothes, you fucking piece of shit. Like, where do you work? Like,
Yeah.
you won't be taking care of my future daughter. He's like, no, it's my daughter. He's like, okay, if it's your daughter, then show me fucking $4,000. That's the money you need the least to look after her for a month. Like, show me $4,000. He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, of course I'll show you. I have the money. And like,
Yeah.
it's
He just doesn't
the doctor
understand
is
how the
right.
world works, I guess. But he's
Yeah,
still.
but I mean, you see what I mean. Like, Kandata is right with the gambling. The doctor is right with like, you can't look after a child without any,
Yeah,
like everybody's
definitely.
like being real with him, while Kirya is the only one like, no, I will somehow make it.
Yeah,
um,
he's
but
just motivated by
anyway,
pure, yeah,
love, like
romanticism,
pure love,
by pure
love
love.
for his
Yes,
daughter.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So of course, his first idea is to go to Shirohebi, who already said him like to fuck off once.
Right.
And he goes, "Hey, can you lend me 4,000 yen?" It's like, are you on drugs? Like, what the
Yeah, dude, you think that's gonna work?
like, but he has no other idea like what to do. Um, so he lends him, I think, like the limit, like from before again. He had like his savings from before. He has some little money. He doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, he uses
Um,
some acronym like like
CUG,
CUG. That's
like,
it. Yeah.
yeah, uh, complete stranger, unemployed gambler.
Right. Yeah.
48. Yeah, now I remember. CUG 48, and the 48 stands that he can only lend them 48K,
Yeah.
basically. And Kirya doesn't know what to do, so he goes gambling, but this time he gambles like a fucking maniac because he's
Right.
so angry. Um, and he doesn't know really what to do, and he goes home. Another beautiful evening with his daughter. Her tooth is falling out. This is going to be important later on.
Right.
And he asks her if he can have her tooth when it falls out, because he's right now he's like really afraid that he's never going to see her again.
Yeah.
So he
Wants to
wants to
hold on to
basically have a,
something. Yeah.
yeah. Komi doesn't understand. He's raging. And what does he do at night? He plays online mahjong, of
Of course
course.
he does. Yeah. Well, he's got to prepare. He's got to prepare for his big day at work tomorrow.
And what happens? Some newcomer called Ant King, we don't know yet who it is, traps him and
Yeah.
makes like a gyakuten against him,
Right.
and basically owns him. So he even loses in his beloved online mahjong.
Yeah. Just seems like
And
nothing he does is right.
yeah, and of course the Ant King was Dr. Aruno.
Yeah.
He
Arino.
knows that he knows that he's playing online mahjong because he works with his ex-wife. He told him everything about it. He knows his nickname is Kirinji Papa. So he just
Yeah.
owns him.
And I'm sure
Then
you made it known that like Adi means ants, so like Arino,
I
Ants
just
King.
called him Ant King. No,
Yeah.
there's no Arino. Oh, I called him just Ant King.
Well, yeah, but
Oh,
that's why he's
Arino.
that's
Oh, Arino.
that's
Oh,
why he's Ant King
oh,
is because Adi
oh,
means
yeah, I did
ant.
it. I did it. Yeah, I did it. Like Ant King is Arino. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Good pun from the author.
exactly. Yeah, and I mean Kirinji Papa, like Papa, I mean like father.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
all
Good pun.
deliberate.
Good pun. Yep, yep. All deliberate. And the next day he wants to go gambling again. wants to take Kome to preschool so he can gamble. Kome doesn't want to go. Why don't you want to go? Because it's Sunday, you fucking idiot.
Right, yeah.
Why don't you want to go to preschool? It's fucking Sunday.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and he's so devastated. Like, I was gonna go make money. I was gonna go play mahjong today.
But imagine how lost in life he is. He doesn't even know the
That it's
day of the
Sunday.
week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He's so out of touch.
Yeah, so then they go to the hospital instead. They have some exposition. And he leaves Kome to Hanako to spend the day with her, and he randomly sees Kandata at the shop trying to buy a computer.
Right. Oh yeah, and he's like, "What, a Mac? I'm not here to buy a hamburger. I'm here to
Yeah,
buy a computer."
yeah, because he's so old, he doesn't even know what a computer is like.
Right.
And he meets him, and he's like shouting at him. Kiria helps him to buy the computer to set up the connection, and this is when we have these like parent children another scene because Kandata tells him on the way home because Kiria wants to set up the internet. He tells him that he called his son. He was afraid to call him. He expected his son to tell him to fuck off, but it was the opposite. His son Hiroshi was very happy that he called him, and he actually told him that he's also playing mahjong,
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
I
and
think it's kind of cool actually.
it's very cool. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, he didn't expect his son to think anything of him. He just kind of
Yeah,
like
he told.
abandoned his son and he was like, whatever, just go do what you want. I'm not going to be involved in your life anymore. But
Yeah,
that parental bond kind
yeah,
of
because
drove his son to like seek him out and just, get good at something that he knew his father would praise him for, which is so sweet. And
because Kandata is so ashamed that he left his son. He feels so much shame. He's like expecting that his son will hate him from the bottom of his guts, you know.
yeah, but
But it's the opposite. Like he was missing him. Like he never hated him,
yeah.
and it's also very touching to see Kandata tear up.
Yeah, and that kind of goes to show like why you should, stay in touch with people and you should not
Yeah,
not assume things about people. If if you just assume that somebody hates you, then like what good is that going to do you? You got to like keep in touch with them and, you know, understand like what's going on with them, you know.
yeah.
Um
And abandoning people is never a good idea, and that's something I should tell to myself in the mirror. Anyway, they get to the little shabby one-room apartment of Kandata where there's just a table, nothing else.
yeah.
They set up the laptop, and Kandata wants to learn online mahjong. He doesn't even know how to click. They spend the night playing, and that's when Kiria learns about the big three.
The big 3.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
this
Kikazaru,
is like.
Iwazaru, Mizaru.
Yeah, because this isn't like like Kiria cries to him like, "There's no way I can make like 400,000 yen in 3 days," and Kandata like drinks a little bit and he's like, "Oh, there is a place you can make it, but this isn't like a parlor. This is like a private, and this thing actually exists in Japan. Like it's a very private. Like you gotta know somebody to get
Right.
in. Only four
Well, yeah,
people.
I mean, there's like Mukobuji is all about these kinds of games, like
Oh
apartment
yeah, true.
mahjong. Um,
Apartment mahjong. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, just places that you go to, you like knock on the door like in a specific rhythm, and it's almost like a prohibition style. Like they open the slot, like what's the password, and freaking you go
Yeah,
in.
yeah, 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 exactly. Thank you for helping me out. And the thing is, like, you have to show like 100,000 yen at the beginning,
Right.
and Kiria is like missing some money, and Kandata is like, "Oh, you're missing money? Then sell me the thing," because Kiria has like this 9 dan ID,
Yeah.
and his son is
Eight
7 dan,
done
I
or
think,
seven. I
or 8.
I
I don't,
thought it was 8.
yeah, okay, 8. He's 8 dan, and I actually think he's 7, and the doctor I don't know is 8, but it doesn't matter
Yeah,
really.
I don't
But
know.
basically, in order to play with his son online, because he's still too ashamed to play with him in real life. He at least wants to play with him online, and he just buys the the ID from him
Yeah.
for 100,000 yen. And do you think that a 9 dan ID is worth $1,000? Huh?
To him it is.
To him it is, but maybe even more actually. Like if you spend like so many
Well,
years just playing on one account, yeah.
it could be. Yeah. I mean,
But
I'm
but
sure
he
there's people
sells
that
it.
have bought accounts for similar amounts. uh,
I mean, yeah. I mean, if it's just 100 accounts like that in the world, but I mean, what good does it bring if they're gonna find out like in 2 games that it's not the real player? But okay,
yeah,
whatever.
people do it though in a lot of games, not just mahjong.
Yeah, true. But I mean, then you can see like how much Kiria cares about this because he sells his only pride, like the only thing he has. Like if
Yes.
somebody came to him and said, like, "What do you have in life? What do you have to show for yourself?" He could only say, "I have a 9 dan," and he
Yeah.
sells it. Okay,
Yeah,
so
because it doesn't mean anything to him anymore. What means the world to him is like what he can do to take care of his daughter at this point. Like, and he's willing to give up his only like the only thing that he's built up in his life in order
yeah, but
to.
it's a big risk. It's a big risk.
It is
Imagine if
big
he
risk,
loses, if he loses the money, then he doesn't literally have anything anymore. Nothing, not even the dan.
right?
Um, um,
But
but
he's
anyway,
willing to
then we
do
get
it.
into the yeah, but he loves her so much he does it, and then we have this, and this is what I also love about Kirinji. I love that the second game is completely different in every way than the first one.
Yeah, and something that I love about this arc is that all the characters have like play styles, very
Yeah,
specific play styles unique to their like nicknames.
yeah. So he gets to the secret apartment. He knocks 3 times, which is the secret sign, and he's greeted by tits.
By tits.
And
Yeah, and this is where the famous like dotted white panel comes from.
yeah, I didn't know how to translate. I wasn't sure how to translate the like Shiropochi, but I just
Shiropochi.
went with
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
I was
that's it.
like,
That's good.
oh, okay, thank you. um, I was searching the internet, honestly, but anywhere I was looking online, everybody just called it because it was everybody just called it even in English like this, like Shiropochi, and I was like, I
No.
can't do this to them. Yeah, that's the only like if you search the internet, that was the only translation at least back then for
Right.
Shiropochi. I was searching for it, and I was like, I can't do this to my. Because I was assuming that anybody who started Kirinji didn't know anything about mahjong. That's why I
Yeah.
tried to
I mean, that's
translate.
it's always a good thing to assume that like
Yeah,
to kind of like assume the lowest common denominator just to make sure that it's as accessible to as many people as possible. But no, I
yeah.
think you did a good job, like with the dotted white. Um,
Thank you,
it's
thank you.
logical, very logical.
And because I also had to like put it together with the tit scene because that's what came to his mind when he saw like you know what I mean like for the
Yes,
comedy as well. I had to like somehow put it together.
right.
Anyway, let's move on. He
Let's see.
goes in. It's just 2 old men, as you said, Iwazaru, Kazaru, Mizaru.
Yeah,
He sees them like don't talk, don't speak, don't
yeah.
hear.
Based on that, the famous like "speak no evil, hear
Saying
no evil, see no evil."
it's in a lot of manga and a
It's
lot of
not just
anime.
in manga. It's actually like a kind of Buddhist concept, like at least Japanese Buddhist concept. Like there's a bunch of like statues of monkeys like holding their mouths or holding their eyes, on top of like shrines and stuff. Um,
Yeah. It is. Yeah. It doesn't even have anything to do with. It's just an Asian thing in general, I would say. Um,
sure, yeah.
I think didn't it come from China or no, it didn't.
I feel
Did
like
it?
it's Japanese. I feel like it's
Oh,
specifically Japanese, based
oh,
on
yeah,
like
yeah, because
what I
yeah,
understand
because
about it.
oh yeah, okay. I'm not sure about it, so I don't want to speculate. Anyway, we have these 2 old men, and it's like a completely different game than the gambling in Kabukicho. Like, I don't mean like a different game than mahjong, but I mean like environment, completely
Yeah,
different. Everything.
it's much more casual, and I mean they even say like Showa style.
Yeah,
It's
Showa style, and that's another style which Kiri has no idea about because if you want to play mahjong well, you have to assume that your opponents are playing logically.
Right.
If your opponents are playing stupidly, you can't really strategize.
Yeah. At that point, you just
That's
kind of have to play the best you can.
that's why it's another completely new environment for Kiria, and that's something we will see all the way through the manga, where he's thrown into new environments,
Yeah.
and that's something really cool.
Yeah, and I
wouldn't
love the
want to like
I love the metaphor
yeah,
where it's like he's like he might be this big shark in like the ocean, but once you put him in a little pond, he's like drowning because he's like this giant shark in a little pond, you know, and it's like there's no way
exactly.
he can make it there.
Exactly. And this is where the manga touches upon the concept of flow, because everything was digital until now.
Right. Well, actually,
But
something I forgot to mention is that like in the first chapter, he does think about flow a little bit. Like he's like, oh, the flow of the game is gonna like, you know, based on how things normally go, the flow of the game will benefit me now. And then he thinks of his daughter, and he's like, no, no. She would
yeah.
say like just
Mhm.
forget about flow, just to focus on like the logic of the game, you know. And that's something
Exactly.
that's
Good
present from
point.
chapter one.
Good point. Good point. It feels like he was thinking ahead for a long way in this manga.
Yeah.
Um, and now, completely new environment. He was confident when he entered, and there's this girl who hates him for no reason. And then once she learns that he plays in Kabukicho, she hates him even much. We don't know why yet.
Right.
And at the same time, Kandata is finally playing with his son a little bit. He's waiting for him actually, and there's this funny picture of, of Kiria in the lobby with a no of Kandata
Kadasa
in the
with
lobby
Kirya's face, or with a
with a
mask of
Kiria mask.
Kirya's face. Yeah.
And people are like, "Hey, what's up, Kirinji Papa?" And he's like, "Are you Hiroshi?" And I'm like, "What? He isn't here." Like, fuck off.
Yeah. Who the heck are you?
um, yeah, that's also cool. And they keep playing. He keeps losing. He doesn't know what the fuck is going on. He gets a monster, and I'm just like, I was like skimming through the pages. Um, and yeah, this is there's a lot of exposition here, and everything that's like what's also cool. Like anything which is shown in any arc comes back later. It's nothing is like just for one arc. No character is just introduced like for one arc.
Right.
The girl, like right now, for the first time when you see the girl, you're like, oh, who the fuck cares? Who is this? But then later on, you learn how important she actually is. Um,
Exactly. Yeah, and that's
and
something that's really amazing is that um, you know, they introduce all these major characters and they keep them along for the whole story.
yeah,
That's really great
I,
writing.
the imagery I love is how she looks at him like squirm, like she's just enjoying it, like how he can't like get a grip in this kind of environment, because she knows he's from Kabukicho. She knows that he's going like for this gambling style. She knows everything about it, and she just enjoys like looking at him like suffer, like her
Yeah.
face.
Yeah, kind of getting some sadistic pleasure from just watching him squirm because she just has this like vendetta against like all gamblers.
Yep, and let me just because now it's more like about him just fucking losing his mind. Um,
Yeah, because he's just you know because Mizaru doesn't look at the pond. Kikazaru doesn't like um the Kikazaru is the girl, right? And she doesn't let anybody call off of her. Or no, maybe that's
yeah,
Kikazaru. I don't
yes, yeah, she
remember.
doesn't
But
hear. Yeah, she doesn't hear. She doesn't listen.
yeah,
Um, and then 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 he wants to run away for the first time,
yeah, yeah. He
and
plays
on the
something like
way,
3 or 4 Hanchons, just always getting last
yeah,
place.
yeah, he's just fuck. He's like completely out of his mind. He's like, I can't. I really like no digital, no strategy. I can't learn anything like I learned against Kandata here. I can't use anything. Let me get the fuck out of here. This place is ridiculous. This isn't even mahjong anymore. And
Right.
he literally wants to run away. He says, "Let me go to the toilet."
Yeah.
And on the way out, he encounters a whale. Um,
Mm.
which is Big Mama.
Right. Oh, I do
um,
remember. Before we get to her, I just wanted to say,
yeah,
like, the moment that Mizaru like plays like a like Iwazaru is like going for like Chinitsu or something, and like for the first
yeah,
time, like he calls for the first time, and he's clearly going for Chinitsu, and then like Kirinji
yeah.
has like a Richi with like a one mon and discards, and then Mizaru just is like, "Oh, seven mon, that should be Suji," and he just like plays the seven mon, and like that made me laugh out loud because I was like, "That is not Suji. That's like distant Suji at best." And it's dangerous against the Chinitsu. I was just like, oh my god. And
To be
I mean,
honest,
that just goes to show how low the level is at the table.
I would also run away. To be honest.
Yeah, it's just so, like, how do you even play against these people?
Yeah, and he encounters Sakio, which is Tsukiko's mother, on the way out. She's a whale, and she just tells him like because she knows that he's gonna run away, like probably a lot of people do, and she just says like, "Come back." And honestly, when I reread it, I hate the font. I want. I'm not gonna say who chose this font for her. We wanted to make her like more ladylike with this font, but.
Mm.
Uh, Nowadays, when I look back, there's a lot better fonts. This one is a little bit unreadable, especially if you're like reading it on a tablet or on a phone or something.
Okay, I didn't have a problem with it,
Um,
but
okay. Let's just scan later. Back mine, sorry.
I didn't
Back
even
talk.
notice it. I don't even remember like thinking anything
Okay,
of the font at all. So
okay. Then I shouldn't worry about it. And Kitty has only one fantasy. Like, if I run away now and maybe convince Kandata to give me the ID back, I can go back to my usual everyday life of eating fucking cup ramen, and playing online mahjong, which is bliss for him apparently in his
yeah,
mind.
yeah, that's his happy place. Just kind of
Yeah,
wants to return to his happy place. Like, just get me out of here, please. But
yeah. And then we have like a side story, which is like the online game with. The online game, not the online game yet, but Hiroshi appears, and there's one great moment I love. It's when Kome asks her mother, "Hey, like this girl talk when they're sleeping together in the hospital, like, hey, what about Daddy? Did you marry him?" And she's like, hmm.
yeah,
Kome just turns
that's a
around
good
and says, "Hey,
question.
no, it's fine." And then she's like, "No, for real." And then she says like. I liked about him the most that he would never give up,
Yeah,
and that's like it's like the words echo somehow through time and space to him, which is not happening by the way. It's just like at the same time she says that to her daughter, he kind of sits down at the stairs and just realizes I keep losing because I'm playing in Kabukicho. Turns around, and that's when it also turns around here.
yeah, that's the moment that he gets his head in the game.
Yeah, he comes back. This time he's like he's having a more like confident look on his face, but not like smiling confident like the second in Kabukicho, just like like angry kind of like
Yeah, kind of
confident.
grimacing.
Yeah, and this time he actually manages to win for the first time,
Yeah.
and I
And
remember
this is when Big Mama like
Sakura.
starts doing her like magic Richis, right?
No, not yet.
Not
She's
yet.
just
Okay.
watching.
She's
She's
just
just watching
Oh,
him
she's
for now
watching
and
from
being
behind. Oh, sorry, I got
yeah,
lost.
and she's being confused watching him because she's expecting the kabukicho gambling style, but he's playing also like in a ridiculous way right now, like not in the usual way he would play.
Right.
So she's just watching him for now, and she's like completely surprised watching him. And to make it shorter, basically he wins, and Tsukiko has like this fucking angry. Like I was fucking scared when I saw her face for the first time when
Yeah.
he won. like she was so angry that she lost to somebody from Kabukicho and wanted to play him again. And but her mother Sakio was actually like very interested, like stand up. This is a rare fish I haven't tasted, and that's also another like motif here. The fish stuff in this
Yeah.
parlor, as we already said, shark, whale.
Yes. And that's a very gambly kind of metaphor, because gamblers do think of themselves as the sharks and their prey as the fish as well. So it's very fitting for this kind of
It
environment.
is. It is fitting, but it's also like fitting with the like idea that she's a fucking huge whale, and she says like, "I wanna, I wanna taste this rare fish. Like I have tasted all kinds of fish, but now I wanna taste this fish."
Yes.
Uh, um, and then would you say that in this arc, like who was actually the final, like not the final boss of the arc, but who was the boss? Was it like
Well, it has to
Tsukiko
be
or
her, right? I mean, she's the
you mean Sakio?
yeah.
Or is it like a combination because they have like this combination move, like mother and daughter gambler crushing kind of shonen kind of
Yeah, like
team?
father and son Kamehameha. Exactly that type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, they have like
Yeah,
father
they
and
do
son
this
kind
combination play. Yeah.
sorry, sorry, you made me you made me laugh. Sorry.
No, that's exactly what we were talking about. So
Uh, anyway, Tsukiko notices that Kiria, like on his phone, he has like Kwame on his background, and she wants to jump at him and strangle him
yeah.
with the same philosophy like Kandata, like you can't gamble when you have a child, like I want to fucking kill you right now. But her mother tells you like, know your place, remember your father, and go back and shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And then she looks at a picture of and this photo, if you remember it, is so great. All of them when they were younger,
Um
like Ivami, like these two old guys, the whale, Tsukiko with a baby with a duck face, like old photo from the
yeah.
Showa era. All of them like together.
Yeah, and is Majin in there too?
Yeah, Majin is in there, but he still isn't introduced. But it just shows just like a little foreshadowing that her father was also a gambler.
Yeah.
And then there's a cool gag where she says like, "If I look at you, Kiria, you look like my late husband." And Tsukiko shouts and says, "You said the same thing about Kandata." And then like Kiria like just like cringes like Kandata.
Yeah.
That is a lot of like funny moments in the manga.
Oh yeah.
Um, like even if you haven't read it and we spoiled almost everything, trust us, it's still worth reading.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's one of the greatest mahjong manga ever, really.
Oh yeah, I agree. I agree. Then Sakyo is doing her like flow bullshit, like magic bullshit, like choose the tile with, which is also cool. Like choose the
Yeah,
tile
I
with.
mean it's not flow bullshit. It's like she's doing it deliberately, right? She's doing it to mess with his head.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But I mean, she presents it as flow. Like
Yeah, she
you,
presents it as a
like
magic trick, but it's really it's deliberately designed to make a person of Kirinji's or Kiria's caliber like, overthink and like like anticipate like a certain hand when it's not actually that hand. Like I'm thinking specifically of the hand where she like puts like two Foramon in front of her, and like
yeah,
the obvious assumption is that, oh, okay, so the other one's a Foramon also, so it must be like a weight around the Foramon, but it's really a Suji trap on the one mon, uh, and like she did that deliberately to mess with his head,
yeah, yeah. That's
which is
what we went
cool.
with.
It's cool, and it's hard to pull off. So the fact that she's able to pull it off is um really says a lot about her experience.
Yeah. Then we have some. Before we come to the end of the game, we have some flashbacks when when we start losing. We see her, Majin, and by the way, just do not say all what because we will continue this talk. if somebody's like listening for the first time and just curious about like to learn the story along the way, Majin is basically her late husband. We don't know how he died. We only know that he was like best gambler in Kabukicho. He's the father of Tsukiko. And one night they were talking about mahjong, and she asks him like how to kill a fish, which like you can't like you can't even confuse anymore. Like he can read all of your traps and um,
Or I think it was more like a new kind of fish that doesn't believe in flow. A new kind of
something like
fish,
that.
yeah, a new kind of fish that isn't like concerned with flow at all, that just
Well,
purely plays
well, her,
based on logic and reasoning.
yeah. In the first flashback, like he told her like when she asked like how to kill a new kind of fish, and he said like with double pair weights. Like
Right.
that's something
Shovel.
nobody
Shovel
can.
weights.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with shabamachi, like that's something nobody can read. You
Yeah.
know, that's the way to go. And then she asks in the second flashback, before she's about to lose, she asks, "But what about a new kind of fish which reads even through that?" And then he's like, "I don't know anymore what to do. Like, just
Yeah.
enjoy
At that
fucking
point it would
mahjong."
just be like enjoy the rarity of this new breed and just like and savor it and enjoy it.
Yeah, and he says like he would call him a prodigy, which is like
Yeah. And isn't the
a
title of
small,
the series like
yeah,
Kirinji like has something to do with prodigy?
prodigy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The prodigy of the
yeah,
Iron
yeah. So
Calls. That's like the little
yeah,
translation,
so
right?
that's like a short, like a little foreshadowing. It's not. He didn't say anything about iron calls yet. That will come later.
Yeah.
But yeah, he says like prodigy for the first time. Like he says like Kirinji for the first time. Then we see Pandata and fake Kirinji Papa playing, and that's like there. This takes a whole nother chapter. Like just Pandata watching his son play for the first time, even if though it's online, and Hiroshi doesn't even know it's his father. He thinks it's Kiria. He's like keeps asking him like, "Kirinji, Papa, give me tips."
Yeah. And they like sit down at a bench like in the digital world and like
Yeah, I mean, but after that, like that was before, but right now when Fat Mama, Big Mama Whale Sakyo is about to lose, there's a whole chapter just for Kandata and Hiroshi and their online game, just like a whole game, like just a whole game, and Ant King is there too.
yeah,
It's a whole mahjong game. It's not just like some scenes from the game. It's like a game from the beginning.
right.
Um,
Yeah,
and
and
uh, and to make it short, really, we're taking too long. Pandata loses to Ant King. Um, Kandata, as a usual father, explodes. He shouts, "This is bullshit. He's cheating. Like you played really well," because he lost his son.
yeah.
Uh,
Well, I remember like didn't like Audino like disconnect at one point? Like he was about to play
no, not Adino. Not Adino. The guy next to him disconnected and dropped the tile
really?
Adino needed.
Oh, I
Fucking
thought
yeah.
it was Audino like had to go like do some
No, that's in the
surgery or
first game.
something. Oh, that was in the first game. Okay. Yeah.
No, you're right. Oh fuck, you know this manga better than me. Yeah,
I
you're
mean I
right.
just read it, but yeah, no,
Oh
no,
yeah,
no. It's like he's about to play Hiroshi's winning tile and then he like disconnects and deals into the other guy.
exactly. Yeah. He's about to play it. He disconnects emergency, and this random avatar wins
Yeah.
next to him.
And it's so scummy that that like as soon as he disconnects, he's like, "Oh, I'm just killing some time with some random video game. Like I don't even care about this game. I'm just 8 done." You know, it's
Yeah, but
just
he's well, what would a surgeon say? Honestly, he would say, "No, I was in a very important mahjong game." Like, he
I
would say, like,
guess, yeah,
no, wait, the surgery can wait. I'm in a
that's
mahjong game."
true. I mean, why is he playing? Well, no, I was about to say why is he playing mahjong when he's like needs to do surgery, but I think I remember he was like off duty at the time and he just like it was an emergency, so never mind. Um,
And actually, Sakya just loses, and she's happy that she lost. And now that's the end of this arc. It's been 2 hours. Do you want to wrap it up here, like for our part one of Tetsunaki no Kirinji. It's been 2 volumes, and in the next one we can wrap up the other 2 volumes, and that would be Tetsunaki no Kirinji in 2 parts. What
Okay,
do you
how
think?
many parts do you want to do?
For now, just the one. We don't have to go through the whole series. I mean, if we went to the if we went to the Kabuki Chosei, we would never finish. So that can wait,
Okay.
right? Right? Or
Yeah,
what do you think?
no, I feel like yeah, there's enough in well, yeah, I don't think we could get through the because there's so much in the last 2 volumes, right?
No, to be honest, the last 2 volumes are even longer than the first 2 ones.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, there's a lot to cover in those.
Yeah,
So
because now there'll be a lot of flashbacks, like the emotional stuff starts. Um, because there's actually like from volume 3, it's like mostly like online mahjong backstories and drama and stuff, and we have to go through those for the character progression. And the last volume is just one huge game between 4 characters, and this time this is the only game where all 4 characters are actually important and have
yes,
background.
yes,
So like
which
volume
is
3,
awesome to see.
yeah, volume 3 is basically all building up to volume 4.
Right.
And there's no way we can do it tonight.
Yeah, we would have to go another 2 hours, and I got to be somewhere in an
Yeah,
hour. So,
yeah,
um,
and I don't think it's good to have a YouTube video which is so long. I think it would be nice. Tetsunaki no Kirinji Part 1, 2 hours, and Tetsunaki no Kirinji Part 2, another 2 hours, and then we will talk about something else. Um,
okay.
I mean, I mean,
Or we could go on after
trust.
that.
Well, if you want, we can, but trust me,
Trust.
Kabuki Chosei. Have you even read it?
No. Well, I remember reading parts of it back in the day, but or actually maybe I did
Imagine.
read the whole thing because I remember there was. Is there another like mahjong game at the very end that involves all 4 players, or is that I don't know.
Yes, there is.
There
There's
is.
actually the difference is in Kabuki Chosei. Every game, all 4 players matter.
Oh, okay. So it just
and,
keeps building up from there. It keeps getting better
and
and
there
better.
is and there is 5 parlors this time.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. And I remember one of the parlors is like, well, I won't say it. But yeah, I
He
remember
comes
some
back
parts of it.
in. I mean, one of revisiting, of course. I mean, most of them have already read it. It's not a big spoiler that he goes back to Kabuking, which is a good callback. A lot of characters return from part 1, uh, but I mean, okay, if part 1 takes us 2 episodes, I would say maybe if we prepare for it a little bit better, we can get through Kabuki Chosei in 3 parts. Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe. Um, well, Sonic, it's 12 volumes. This is 4 volumes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, 12 volumes. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to say that. It's 12 volumes.
Okay, I see. I mean, it would still be worth doing. I mean, we could probably just like we went really into depth and we like, talked a lot about each individual part in this episode.
Well,
Um,
we have to because it's establishing everything, and
yeah. So we
as
could
we said,
I'm just saying we could like, touch on it a little more briefly when we do the
well,
Kabuki
one
Chohan.
difference is the one difference in Kabuki Chosei is that there's a lot more mahjong. Um, Here it's a lot more like character building, which we have to get through, and all these like drama moments.
Yeah.
So we will see. I mean, we will see. But next time, definitely Kirinji part, Tetsunaki no Kirinji part 2. Hmm?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's definitely going to be
Okay.
next week. And I do. Like, there's been some stuff that I've been holding on to that I wanted to save um,
Well,
till the
about
last part of
this
it, so
part, you
we can
mean?
talk about then. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
About the final match. So I do have some
Oh,
stuff to say about that.
actually, yeah, the final match is also very epic because, as I said, it's this time it's four characters. Well, let's see. In part, like, okay, in what we talked about, first game, Kabukin, it's basically just Kiria. No other character has backgrounds. Okay. Second game, it's Kiria a little bit Tsukiko and Mat, my
Uh,
brain is
are
hurting.
you talking about
Mat,
well what okay, what
well,
you're saying though is that like each arc kind of like builds up a new character, and like after that a new character is built up, and eventually by the end like all four characters at the table are all getting built up at the same time, and it just keeps
oh my
growing
God,
and growing, right?
I forgot. In Kabuki Choseatsuhen, there's like even more games than the five main games.
Oh yeah, right, like in
But
between
but
games and
one
stuff. Yeah,
yeah, but one thing which stands out about Kabuki Choseatsuhen is that it actually like maybe the author like Uhyosuke like got very good uh, feedback about the last game, and they told him like, hey, we need more matches where all players we know what all four players stand for, you know. Yeah, I'm
yeah,
pretty sure. Like, I'm pretty sure that's what happened. At the end of Tetsunaki no Kirinji, they told him like, we liked the last game the most because everybody rooted for one of the characters at least in one way. So
yeah.
for Kabukicho Seatsuhen, just do that for every game.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding, by the way. I'm not
No,
exaggerating.
no, I mean that's really good. I mean it's good that like because it was epic, or it I say was, but we haven't even covered it yet. The final arc of the first part is really good and really epic.
Okay,
So I'm glad that like they keep it
today we
going.
covered two games. Today we covered two games. We knew the background of one character, maybe of
I mean, we
the
covered
of
three games, right? We covered the initial game, the Kandata game, and then the monkey game,
Oh, true, true, true,
the
true,
monkey
true,
and
and a
fish
little bit
game.
of the online, a little bit of the online game. Yeah,
Yeah,
so like two and a half, three and a half.
three and
Sorry,
a
three
half.
and a
Yeah,
half. Yeah, but in each of these games, like we rooted for one character. Even when Pandata or Hiroshi, like when he was playing, you were rooting for him. Like you
yeah,
didn't know who Mole Man was. Like you didn't care about Mole Man.
right.
Um, but even from the first game, like even the first game, which isn't even part of the main story in Kabukicho Seatsuhen, you still root for all four characters.
Yeah,
Maybe two or four, but it's always like multiple characters. Like
yeah, which is
and they
something
all
that
have their
really stands out from other mahjong manga, right? Because
yeah.
like in
That's what I meant. That's what I meant when I said he probably got very good feedback about the last game, and then he kind of even maybe he thought to himself like, I'm gonna make every game. I'm gonna make it my trademark. From
yeah,
now on, every mahjong game, everybody is gonna have equal motivations, but from different directions, and I'm just gonna make every game like that.
yeah, which is how it should be. That's like the best way to do it. Where every single person at the table has their own story, their own motivation, and you're all rooting for each of them equally. That's really engaging, and it would be great if a lot more mahjong manga were like that instead of just like being a good guy versus a bad guy.
Yeah,
uh,
honestly, when we got into the podcast, I forgot that there's so much stuff in the first two volumes. It's so dense. So, like
yeah,
honestly, like
yeah. No,
wow.
I thought we'd be able to get through all four volumes in two
I
hours,
was like,
but
I was like, man, I translated this. I read it like 100 times. I know every line of dialogue, but then like, oh wait, yeah, you, yeah.
yeah. I mean
Maybe we can just
that's
do.
just what
But
happens.
do you think it took too long?
No, no. I think we
I,
took enough time.
I
But
think we couldn't have done it shorter, to be honest.
yeah, I think this is just how it has to be. This is just how we do it. We just go into as
Yeah.
much detail as we need to. We don't like suppress it. We just say what we need to say, and then I feel like I could have even gone into more depth, but I don't know. I just kind of lost
No,
track
no,
of what
it's
I was
fine.
saying.
No, No, it's fine. No, it's fine. I was also like also forgetting a lot of stuff about Kaiji and Akagi. But you always reminded me, so it's all's fine. I think we did a good job. We will see when it's on YouTube.
Yeah, yeah, and we'll see what we have to say about the last few volumes next week. Also,
Yeah, I will prepare a little bit better for the next two. I'm gonna reread it as well. I was a little bit too confident thinking that I remember every page from
I mean, you
the
remembered a
original
lot.
one. Uh,
I think there were only like two
Yaro,
or three times that I like
Yaro,
corrected you.
Yaro, if you're still here, can you give us some feedback?
He just did. Comfy up.
Oh, thank you, Yaro. Thank
Yeah.
you. Okay. Okay, Sonic, it was very fun. I didn't expect to talk so much with you, but somehow we even said at the beginning, like, are we sure, like, we're gonna, and then, oh no, we can't stop talking. Yeah,
Yeah, it just
that's
kept
just
going
how
and
it
going.
is.
It's always like this. We're always like, what are we going to talk about today? Is it going to be
Yeah.
structured at all? And then it just works out, which is
Okay,
great.
so you wanna stay a minute in the Discord and just say thank you and wrap it up?
What was that first thing you said?
You wanna stay a minute in the Discord
Oh,
and wrap up the stream?
oh yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah. Okay. So thanks for watching, everybody. And we will see you next week for continued coverage of this amazing manga known as the Prodigy of the Iron Calls, Tetsunaki no Kirinji. Um, so yeah, thanks a lot for watching, and y'all have a great night.
Have a great night. See you next Saturday. Bye, guys.